Good afternoon. How are you? Well, right now it's not snowing, although there are tiny little flakes. But a moment ago, we were in a minor snowstorm, and the temperature's 34 degrees, so it's slightly above freezing. And the question is, what we'll have tonight? If there's rain and snow, will it be ice tomorrow? So that's what Thomas Jefferson has to report. The humidity is about 80%, and the wind is 12 miles an hour, and for the moment it's pretty quiet. So what's the big news today? Well, at 4 o'clock, and this is after 4, about 4:38, and it'll take longer for this probably to get to you, and you probably know about it, but the know about it part is that the judge in Manhattan in the New York hush money case has scheduled a sentencing of Trump on January the 10th. That is before the inauguration. And the judge intends to sentence him, but indicates he may not seek jail time or certain other penalties. But it will be a final judgment convicting Trump, entering a judgment that he has both been found guilty and has been sentenced. Why would he do that? Well, I would have gone the whole way, you know that, and there are others who feel the same way. But what the judge is, I think, doing is trying to define the case in such a manner that Trump is entirely subject to the prosecution, trial, and sentencing when he is a citizen and not himself the president. The events in the case involve him as a private person. That is, before the 2016 election, the hush money case, and the judge has already entered a decision on that. Did we want the judge to test the possibility that Trump could not only be convicted but be sentenced, say, for 4 years? I support that. In terms of symbolism and perhaps a trial court judge anticipating if he enters a conviction at any time while Trump is president, the Supreme Court of the United States may try to claim that, you can't do that. He's immune because he's the president. But he's not now, and he won't be on January the 10th when the judges set the matter down for sentencing. So, it's more than half a loaf. I'd say it's about 80% of a loaf, because we are concerned about how much of a sentence any judge in America, state, federal, or justice of the peace would decide that they could give Trump the sentence he deserves. So there's that. So on balance, that's good news, because there was a great possibility nothing would happen. In fact, the prosecutor said, why not hold the case open until after he leaves office? And the thinking on that is perhaps that Trump's of an age, he might not be sentenced at all if he predeceased the end of his term and when the sentencing could occur. So I think that that's what the judge had in mind. I haven't listened to any of the talking heads, so I don't know what they're saying, but I think I'm right. Now, the other thing that's going on is Johnson was reelected as the Speaker of the Republican majority by a feather. And his is going to be a very unsturdy, jerry-built political operation, given that his margin is not so great. And all it takes is anyone, say Green, to change their mind about supporting him and a couple of others, and we'll have another speaker. So the stability of government is not very stable right now. And in the category of bad taste, all you have to do is think the name Trump. Trump is upset that flags are flying at half-mast for Carter. You know, there are 100 ways to approach disagreements with Carter. But to say that a former president who was an astonishingly good private citizen after he was president didn't deserve to have flags fly at half-mast. So, but that's Trump. So we know that we know that that's the kind of thing we can expect. Now some say, what could they do? And I doubt that anybody I'm talking to or hearing me is opposed to this. So the question is, what about the people who are not on our exchange? And what I'm talking about is the inauguration. I think any person who cares about this country, cares about the republic, cares about the fact that our president, when sworn in, is going to have been convicted by a jury and sentenced, making a final judgment in the case, that he's going to be required to pay huge fines and so forth for his defamation and sexual abuse, that he's going to have to pay, when the dust settles, large amounts of funds and remodel his businesses because of the Attorney General's cases and the fines and penalties there. So what I propose is we should skip the inauguration, because consider the fact that on the day of the inauguration, we're on notice that Trump says that's the first day he's going to be a monarch. He's going to be a dictator. And so if you're attending an event in which a president is sworn to take an oath and has told you beforehand he's going to break that oath the minute he gets there by acting as a dictator, why would you show up for such a man? And if you did show up, are you, by your silence, your presence, your acquiescence, agreeing that a Trump is worthy to be president after a plethora, a universe of lies in a campaign that elected him, a man who has attacked the republic in every way, who has sent incompetents, delusional individuals to be in his cabinet, and he will be convicted and sentenced just days before he took office. Shame on America for allowing this to happen out of the selfish need to have to pay less tax to have this guy as our president. So that's what I'm thinking out here in the chilly air in our cathedral of trees. And so depending on the weather, I'll be out here again tomorrow. Bye-bye.